Hello and welcome to another digital playground. I'm your host Jen, and today I'm with.
Hey, I'm John de Campos. I'm the owner and co-creator slash designer of this game we're about to play here, Token Terrors Battlegrounds.
Great. So, do you want to go into explaining the game itself, and we'll get right down to playing.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Token Terrors Battlegrounds is a one versus one semi-abstract strategy battle game where players are warlords commanding a custom-built army of 10 mini monsters in a battle to the death. One thing I would like noted in Tabletop Simulator, it might not shine as much, but our minis were actually created before we made the game. Um, we wanted to make cool miniatures to represent 1/1 token creatures in Magic the Gathering, and we thought that populating a battle map in D&D was with a lot of minions was kind of pricey, so we wanted a durable dice-sized mini monster that you could toss into your dice bag, and if you needed to fill up a little village with zombies or soldiers or goblins, you could do it without spending a ton of money. And after we made the sculpts, we thought we'd make a board game about them or using them, and 2 years later, here we are.
Awesome. So, the tokens that we see on the table aren't final product. This is just what Tabletop Simulator has associated them as.
Yeah, so I mean the basic shape that you're seeing in TTS here are fairly accurate to the finals. The one thing that's worth noting is these are low poly count rendered images or rendered objects in for TTS. The final versions of the sculpts, if you actually buy a copy of the game when we go to Kickstarter in July, will compact with a lot more detail and character. These are a bit rounded off and kind of dumbed down a little bit so TTS doesn't crash when you load up the game.
Awesome. And for people who like painting miniatures, would they be a decent sized paint as well?
Yeah, that's the other thing that we did with these is that the typical tokens or the little guys that we're going to be playing with today are all sized to fit within a 1 by 1 inch grid. They're also completely void of an attached base or any scraggly, bendable, breakable parts. So they will be suitable for mini painting. And actually, we're going to be running a couple giveaways leading up to the campaign where we're going to give away 3 different color variants of our goblin miniatures. Those are going to be resin prototypes. So they won't be as durable as the injection molded ones that we're going to get made with the main manufacturing run. But yeah, mini painters will be able to get into these. TTRPGs they're good for that. If you're a Magic player and you have a tribal token generation deck, they can do that. And then if you like 1v1 battle games, we got that for you also.
Perfect. So let's get down to what we're playing.
Oh heck yes! So you've already done me the courtesy of reading the rule booklet, and for anybody who's looking at the video, in case you're wondering, just to kind of answer the question before you'll see some other sculpts. These are all experimental. Over here, I don't know if you can see my cursor.
Yep.
These are some token titans and tyrants. So they're a little bit bigger, and those are just in the testing phase. So we're not going to be using those today. And then over on the other side, on my side of the table, is our season 2 prototype sculpts. Which these sculpts are not final. Their rule sets are not final. Nothing about them is final, but they are in here mostly because as soon as the pandemic hit, I wanted to be able to play test with my team, and I didn't want to have to switch between a bunch of different TTS mods. So also, I think it's cool for people who do want to try the game to just see them here, and if they've played enough games of season 1, they can kind of dabble and help me workshop the second run of monsters we have planned.
Awesome. So which ones, like the secondary ones you have here, the titles, are those fixed titles as well?
Yeah, it's the branchlings, the dragons, the ghosts, the mer people, the myrmidons, and the vampires.
I love the way the myrmidons look.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a bit of an homage to the Mousers from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's what I thought. I was like, it's either that or it's like a slightly miniaturized version of like aliens.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And if you're familiar with Magic at all, this is sort of our answer to the Murs.
I know. Oh my god.
Yeah. So yeah, we're not really trying to ape Magic directly, but they've monopolized quite a few different creature types through their 25 some odd years of existence. So we figure it won't be too bad if we borrow a couple that we just rename and kind of redesign in our own vision.
Awesome. Okay, so let's get down to playing.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing we're going to do is actually get into the drafting part of the game. So we're each going to roll our evasion die to see who's going to be the first player.
Wow. I got a 5.
Whoa! Yeah, slam dunk. I got a 6. So So I'm gonna go ahead and take the first faction. I'm gonna take my boys. Oh, and we're just gonna be playing the season 1 guys because these are actually representative of what the final game will be like.
Awesome. I'm just gonna
The
take
one,
a quick look at the cards here to double check
sure,
the talents.
yeah, the token talents. I'm gonna take 4 zombies to start. The way our draft system works is once you select a faction, you effectively eliminate it for your opponent. So if I want to revisit these guys later, I can. But we're basically going to alternate choosing a faction during our draft exchange until we each have an army of 10. So I'm going to take 4 for now and then see what you take.
Okay. So you took the zombies, so I can't touch the zombies at all.
Right.
Let's see.
If you have any questions, fire away.
No, for sure. No, I'm just reading over the skills because I just slightly glanced over them while I was doing the rules. I think I'm going to start with 2 elves.
Okay, great. Yeah, the elves are awesome. Yeah, I usually, for anybody who's playing the game for the first time, I would definitely recommend a mixture of 6 and 5 as far as the number. Like, there's a limit. You can only choose up to 6 of one faction. So I usually recommend that they do 2 factions for their first game with 1 melee and 1 range style faction. But follow your warlord sensibilities. So when you draft stuff, you're just going to drop them directly into your cemetery bag.
Yep.
Cool.
Oops, if it does want to go into the bag. I always have trouble on Tabletop Simulator trying to put stuff into bags.
Yeah. It can be a little bit tricky. There we go. For my other pick, I have 4 zombies already. I'm going to take you eliminated the elves. I will grab me 1, 2, 3, 4 wyverns. And it is your turn to draft.
I'm gonna grab 3 soldiers.
Cool. Elves and soldiers are. I've gotten some notes from a couple people that say they think that there could be a little bit more synergy between factions. I think that the elves and soldiers synergize really well, personally.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 2 spots left. What do I want to do? I'm gonna round out the last 2 spots on my team with zombies and take my zombie count up to 6. So I'll be doing a mixture of 6 and 4 with 2 factions.
I grabbed 3 elves to start with, so I'm gonna grab 2 more elves.
Cool. You can keep going because my army's built.
And then 3 soldiers. I'm gonna go 5 and 5.
That's great. Yeah.
Did I accidentally grab 2? No, that's 1. There we go.
So I'm just to be safe, because the last couple of games I've played, the starting rollout, the starting lineup of tokens has been a little weird. So I just shuffled both bags.
Okay.
And would you be so kind as to hit the setup game button, please?
There we go.
Oh yeah, look at that script. All right, so all the guys on the side of the table here, these are our starting ranks, okay, right? And you'll see if you hover over the reserve cards, it'll tell you how many are in the actual reserves.
All right.
And those will turn red when we run out. When they zero out, those will turn red. So I am the first player, which means I need to place my first token on the board. If you remember from the rules, they're all going to come out fresh. So I'm just going to go ahead and rotate these guys for you so they come out facing the right direction. And I'm going to place a wyvern right there and pass it to you.
Now, when placing on the board, can you only place in certain range of the edge of the board?
Yes, so you're going to place in the first 2 rows of your side of the battleground.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to put my elf there.
Okay. It's coming out with 4 soldiers strong. That's good stuff for you. Your turn.
kind of going for a chest setup to start with.
A chess setup? Okay. No, that's cool. It's funny, like I think this game gets compared to chess quite a bit, which I can understand. I think it does a lot of things differently, but yeah, it's kind of funny if you make a thing where you're moving objects around on a grid, it's chess to everybody basically.
Well, it also is very reminiscent. I'm a huge fan of Summoner Wars from Platinum Games. So anything that's like that was the one that I started off with strategic movement of anything on a board, along with what was the other game? I can't remember the other title at the moment, but those are the ones that I usually associate to when doing grid type games.
Sure. It's funny. I did a playtest with another reviewer last night, and he also mentioned Summoner Wars.
Well, it's fairly old at this point. It's been around for a while, and they've done a lot of stuff with it in the last couple of years, but they haven't revised it or brought back new product for it. So people are looking for a new kind of battle game that could work on a 1-to-1 versus. And
that's where we come in.
Exactly. All right, so we're all set up, and since
so because I've done everything else first, like I got to draft my factions first, and I got to place first. You actually get to take the first turn as the second player.
All right, and if I remember correctly, I can do up to 3 commands.
So you actually have to complete exactly 3 commands before you can start spending surge points. So you're beholden to complete 3 commands every time you start a turn.
Mm-hmm. So as of right now, so for my actions, is there a place that lists the actions as well on the board here?
Yeah, so you'll see there's 2 at-a-glance cards that are down at the bottom of the board down here.
Okay.
Right there and here. So this one that has the header graphic on top, that's just going to take you through the 5 steps of your turn.
Okay.
And then the card next to it, in the real version of the game, this will be one card that's double-sided. You'll see this other card here has basically the 4 commands you can do, which are move, battle, enrage, and token talent. And the first 2, there's no limit to the amount of times you can do that command. You can move a bunch of times, you can battle a bunch of times. Then there's how to battle, which is fairly straightforward if you already understand the threat mechanic, which isn't too tough. And then there's tells you how to earn surge points, and the surge points can be spent on your turn to do additional commands after the starting 3 that you begin each turn with.
All right. So can I activate more than 1 token at a time?
No. At the beginning of your turn, after your refresh step, you are going to activate 1 token. That token will complete 3 commands. However, that's not to say that other tokens you control can't be the target of token talents that can make them do stuff. So you'll see that both of the factions you control actually have group movement mechanics. The elves have teamwork, which can let you move another elf, which is just not an elf that's not the one you activated, can be moved 1 to 3 spaces. And then the soldiers do the same thing, where you can target up to 2 other soldiers you control that's not the active soldier and have them move up to 2 spaces each.
All right. And talent was once per turn per talent, right?
That's correct. Oh, right. So you,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to first. So I'm going to pick my middle soldier here. And he's going to move up to 2 other soldiers, up 2 spaces each. So my 2 outer ones, I'm going to move there and there.
That is 1 command. Very good. Aggressive.
And then I'm going to. So that was 1 command. My second command will be to move him up 1. And then when I engage or enrage, I have to turn the token to the right or left, right? To indicate it?
Yeah, that's if you don't attack with this turn. So, like, for example, if you had just said, I'm going to enrage this soldier at the top of your turn and then did a bunch of stuff, but you never attacked with him, then you would leave him readied at the end of your turn to indicate that he still has that +1 bonus to threat.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with him here. So I would rotate him right.
Oh, yeah, just you'll see the center bar of gray buttons in the middle of the screen at the top of your screen. Just click the one on the far right until it says 90 degrees.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Perfect.
Yeah, that way when you press E to rotate, they'll just bounce around a 90-degree turn. Okay, so this guy's a threat 2. And you'll actually see if you hover over the tokens, it'll tell you what their threat is in real time. So all these soldiers are 1s. Yeah, I have 1 surge point. Okay. I'm going to activate this wyvern. No, wait. I'm going to activate this wyvern and do the token talent take flight, which makes it move exactly 3 spaces.
And you're going to attack which one? Left or right soldier?
So all range attacks happen in a straight line up to 2 spaces away, unless you're controlling elves, which you have a special ability called Sharpshooter that lets you attack 2 spaces away diagonally. So I'm actually going to attack this readied threat 2 soldier with a threat 2 wyvern from 2 spaces away and kill him. And he would normally, if he was fresh, he would roll an evasion, but since he's not fresh, he just eats the damage and gets murked.
Okay, so he goes to my graveyard, right?
Yeah, to your cemetery bag. Yeah. So that's 1, 2 commands, and then I can go move battle. Should I do that? Yeah, no. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll spend my 3rd command to enrage and boost him up to a 3 and pass turn.
All right. Let's see.
Oh, so 2 things that aren't mentioned on the at a glance cards because they're really sort of part of a bigger mechanic in general, but we're probably going to add them. Is that okay? So there's basically 2 variable ways that you can attack with each attack style. The melee guys, for the cost of 1 command, will attack into orthogonally aligned adjacent spaces, dealing their threat to whatever target they're attacking. If you spend 2 commands, you can do a blindside attack, which will attack a diagonally aligned space, dealing your threat. And what's really great about diagonal attacks is that it doesn't take return damage because nothing passively retaliates diagonally.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of doing at this point.
And then also as a reminder, when you do end up activating the elves, is just to remember that the same way that the melee guys can do a 2 command cost diagonal blindside attack, the range guys can do what's called a sure shot attack if you spend 2 commands, where instead of rolling a 4, 5, 6 to evade the range attack, they have to roll just a flat 6.
Okay, so I'm going to activate this soldier here. And I'm going to use his second ability, ready this soldier while ready this soldier the next time the shoulder battles. It gets a +1. Oh, for each friendly. No, that works.
Well, he doesn't have any soldiers surrounding him. The key phrase surrounding is all spaces that are touching the space he occupies.
Okay, so it might be better to move first. Or move something else first.
Yeah, because the way the way that you increase their attack power and their defense is by having them adjacent to tokens of the same faction. That's how the threat bonuses work. So so to kill this guy, you need to be able to deal 3 damage. So yeah, again, like if you just hover over these guys, you'll see that they're both at 2s. This one's actually at a 3 because he's enraged. And then so your soldier's a 1.
So could I technically enrage, move, then attack, and then I would be at a 3?
Yeah.
But then you would also hit me for a 3 because you get to hit me back.
Yeah, because you're in my defensive range. The defensive range of a range token is 2 spaces away in a straight line and orthogonally. So, yeah. If I hate to backseat drive. I've done enough playtests that I don't want to like play the game for the other person. But if you would like me to help give you a suggestion, that would be at your discretion.
For now, no.
Okay. Cool.
I think what I'm going to do is, instead of activating this one, I'm going to activate him.
Okay.
Move him forward 2, which means 2 movements, 2 commands. And then I'm going to activate March to move this guy back this way and move this guy this way.
Okay.
And I believe that's the end of my 3 actions.
Sure. Just out of curiosity, is there a reason you didn't move this soldier into this middle space so they could all get a shared?
I wasn't sure if movement was based off of how many points you used. Oh wait, it's 2 spaces, not 1. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I meant to
when you
move
do
him there.
march. There you go. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's just defensively much stronger because now you
Yeah.
have. Okay, cool. All right. So you'll hit your reinforcement step actually, because you only have 4 guys out. So you'll be able to take a token from your reserves and place it on any available edge space.
So I'm gonna put. Might as well. I'm coming out strong with soldiers. Let's continue with soldiers.
All right. I'm gonna hit my refresh step and wake up this wyvern. Then I will enrage to raise his threat to 3, and then spend the other 2 of my starting commands to do a sure shot range attack at your soldier in the center here.
All right.
Puppers.
Yeah, Chanel is my resident hound, and she's being super affectionate and wants to see what I'm doing on the computer.
So yeah, you'll roll your evasion die here, and if you can land a 6, you will evade this range attack.
Come on, 6. No.
Oh.
He goes bye-bye.
Yeah. And that's actually all 3 of my commands because I enraged and then did a sure shot, which cost 2. I will then rest this wyvern to earn a surge point and pass the turn.
Okay. Just give me 1 second here. Let's see. 1 sec.
Sure.
All right, so it was my turn here. So I don't need to refresh anything because I didn't put anything to rest.
Oh yeah, no. This guy's resting, or for some reason, I guess he didn't come out fresh. So yeah, you don't need to refresh anything.
Okay, so. And for the reason of health for threats and that, if I ping you for say 1, that doesn't bring your threat down.
It does actually.
It does?
Yeah, damage will accumulate over the course of a single turn. So, like for example, if you were to move your soldier into this space, and you had the surge points and the starting commands to do a blind side twice. So you actually, if you started in the space where you had 2 surge points, you'd actually be able to do that. You could move down 1, and then you could attack me. You could blindside me once, blindside me again. You'd deal 2 damage, and that would take me off the board. And retaliation works the same way. So if I retaliate and deal enough damage back to something to, take it off the board and kill it, it will die.
Okay.
So the idea is that you either attack with something that's more powerful than the defending token, or you figure out a way to deal damage without taking return damage.
Let me just double check on that.
Oh, that was a good idea. Having a raspberry claw. It's tasty.
Okay, so I can only activate that on other soldiers, not the current one I have activated. So let's see. So I'm gonna move 1. Do I want to move him? So I'm gonna move him back 1. And movement for moving through your own pawns.
Totally cool.
Totally cool. Okay, then I'm gonna activate him to move the 2 other soldiers. So I've got 1 here, 1 here.
Okay, so this was your active token this turn, and then you did march. So you moved 1 and then did march.
Yeah, and then can I rest him to get an additional surge?
Have you completed 3 commands?
I would enrage, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. That's actually one of the reasons enrage is so great is because, right. So you want to maintain your formation, right? And you also want to earn a surge point because you want to get those up. So yes, you can use your 3rd command to enrage him and turn him 90 degrees to the right. And then since you have completed 3 commands, you can then optionally rest your active token. So you would then turn him around to rest him. Now the the +1 to threat from enrage would wash, but you maintain your defensive strength and you earn a surge. So, not all bad.
All right, perfect. And then it goes to you.
Yep. Oh, no, you reinforce one more time.
Oh. Let's bring an elf out.
There we go.
And I gotta fix his rotation.
All right. I'm going to wake up my wyvern. Then I'm going to activate this guy. I'm going to use the token talent Rush, which makes it so the next time this wyvern attacks this turn, it's at a range of 3. So then
pop my over here.
I'm going to try to. So I'm going to activate Rush. Then I'm going to enrage. Then I'm going to I'll just battle normally and see if it lands. So you'll roll an evasion. You have to 50-50 shot to see if this hits or not. Oh, it was close.
The dice gods don't like me today.
Sorry.
So he goes to my cemetery?
Yep, my wyvern flew over and straight clawed his face up and then flew back.
Yeah.
And then I'll rest this guy to earn a surge and pass turn.
Alright, let's see how these elves move around. So range is 2, right? From current position? So technically I would need to move my elf here to be able to hit him here.
Yeah, and the one thing to remember with range against range is that even though you're a space away, I'll still be able to retaliate. My passive retaliation still happens 2 spaces away in a straight line.
Except if I sharpshoot, right?
So if you're sharpshooting, that's exactly right. So with the elf right here, you're actually able to. You can't fire through anything, and the way sharpshooter works is that it lands exactly 2 spaces away diagonally. But pretend these soldiers aren't here. You'd be able to deal damage here, here, here.
Okay. And using a surge, can I still only tack once per turn if I'm using a surge or not?
Your surge points are interchangeable for additional commands, so there's not any limitation to how you use them or what they're for. It's just additional commands. So using your token talent is a command, moving is a command, battling is a command, and rage is a command. So right now you at the beginning of your turn you have 5 commands under your belt with the 2 surge points in your bank.
It's still not enough.
I found that a couple of people they operate under this kind of this weird assumption that they have to spend surge points to do the token talents, which is
Yeah, I can understand that just a second.
Sure, yeah.
Sorry about that. I can understand some people having that kind of association because usually using powers you need to have some kind of effective cost to it, but it's part of your commands.
Yeah.
So let me see. So it's my turn, right? Because you blew up my soldier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move my elf here. That's 1. And then I'm gonna use sharpshooter. So the next time this elf battles this turn, it battles diagonally at a range of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will enrage, and then rest and gain 1 surge.
So with the key, so if you read sharpshooter one more time, the effect of that only lasts until the end of this turn, which means that effect it won't actually benefit you because you're not attacking.
No, I understand, but I don't want to move him as well.
Oh yeah, you can't do that.
Oh, I can't do that. Okay.
No, yeah, it actually. Do you remember Dozen the Docent?
Oh yes.
From the rulebook. Yeah. He says that explicitly when he gets into the command section.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess I'll try and hit your wyvern.
You need to be a little bit closer.
Yeah, it's too far away still. Because if I move one, then I still. Okay, then instead of using the sharpshooter, I'll move another elf up to 3.
Okay.
And I will move him here for now. And then I think I get my refresh phase. I think that was 3 commands. Moved him, activated my abilities, my talents, enraged.
Yep. So that would be 3. And then, yeah, you would reinforce another token on any available edge space. Okay.
Would I still be able to rest as well and get the surge point?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. But if he was rested, he doesn't get to roll, right?
Yeah, but you've already, since you enraged him, you've already kind of waved bye-bye to doing an evasion roll and attack.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. So I'm going to rest him and get a surge.
Okay. I will activate this wyvern, do the token talent rush, and then battle.
Mm-hmm.
So that deals 2 damage. That elf is dead. Now, he does return damage, but it falls 1 space short of actually dealing damage back to my wyvern because I used the rush ability.
Yep.
Then I still have 1 starting command left, so I'll use that to move once. And then I'll use a surge point to move again. And then I'll rush. Or I'm sorry, not rush. I'll rest to get that surge point back and pass turn.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to activate this elf here. I'm going to activate...
Oh, we should refresh all your dudes.
Oh, yes.
When you hit your refresh step at the top of your turn.
Oh, yeah, he came in.
Yeah, facing the wrong way. There we go. Perfect. Looking good.
Alright, so... He's at a 3.
Now, if you figure out a way to kill one of these 2s on the side of that guy before you try to take him down, you can bump him down to a 2 by eliminating one of his buddies. Or one of their buddies. I don't know why I assigned gender to wild animals.
So for movement, just to make sure I'm understanding, movement is a command, and you can only move 1 space for every command of movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so...
But just a gentle reminder here. If you decide that, like, you have a bigger turn planned and you need to get some extra surge points, there's always the opportunity to earn 2 surge points per turn, because if you look at the zombie, for example's sake, just doing 3 move commands in a row to use up all 3 of your starting commands and go move, move, move. As long as you move into a new space each time, that constitutes a dash, and that'll earn you a surge point instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, if you complete a dash and then you go, okay, well, I'm safe from range attacks, so I'll also rest this token. That'll earn you a second one. So you can always earn 2 surge points per turn, provided you're not in too much direct danger.
All right, if that's the case, I would also get a new dude this turn because I'm down at 4 again. How do I want to set this up? So I'm going to activate him. He's going to move 1. And then he's going to do teamwork and move this guy over 1, 2. Oh no, 1, 2, 3. And then I would enrage and rest, correct?
Sure. Yeah.
And rest, DNA niche. Sorry about that. Okay, again, that surge, rest, get a new elf.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. Don't fall down. And
make sure that guy's fresh. There we go. Alrighty. Cool. I'm gonna refresh my wyvern. Then I'm gonna go activate this guy and use 1-2 commands to move 2 spaces. Then I will spend my third to activate the token talent rush. Then I will -1 surge to deal 2 damage at your threat 1 soldier. Oh, you get to roll an evasion.
Oh, yes. Is he facing the right way? Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's fresh.
Roll. And a 6.
Hey, cool. So you have to move that soldier 1 to 3 spaces.
1.
Alrighty. That completes the evasion. That completes me doing stuff. I'm going to rest this wyvern and gain a surge and pass turn.
All right. I'd have to do 1, 2. Move another dude. He's at 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2. Activate teamwork.
Remember to refresh that guy first.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
Whoops.
There we go. Oh.
There we go. So move him with teamwork. So this guy's at 2. And then attack you once.
So if you do that without enraging first, I'll deal 2 damage right back to you. They'll kill each other.
Okay, so enraged first. No, but then.
So was that move and then teamwork and then enrage and then you'd have to spend a surge point to do a battle attack.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll use the surge to.
Okay.
Do
Yep.
the battle.
I eat 3 damage. I deal 2 damage back. That battle resolves.
Okay.
And then if you want to keep spending surge points to do additional things, you may do that.
I will use. Do I get gutsy and do that? Yeah, I'll use. No, I won't. I won't use anything else. I'll rest.
You don't have to rest, by the way.
No. Okay. So I'll leave him there because if
he's no longer. Yeah, he's no longer in the readied state because as soon as you did that battle command, the enrage effect ended. So yeah, you can leave him fresh to evade range attacks.
Okay, perfect. And then it goes to you.
Cool.
I killed something.
Yes. Huzzah. All right. So yeah. I'm going to activate this wyvern and do the token talent take flight, which lets me move exactly 3 spaces. And land right there. Then I'm going to do a sure shot range attack at your soldier.
Okay. I get to roll, right?
Yeah, and if you land a 6, you'll skedaddle on out of there.
Come on, 6. No. Kaboom.
And then I'm gonna leave this wyvern fresh because the next thing that happens to him is he's probably gonna get attacked, and then I'll reinforce a zombie right here and pass the turn.
All right. So if I use sharpshooter, you have to roll 6, right, to be able to evade it?
That's a sure shot attack. So if you spend 2 commands when you do a range attack, you can make it so I have to roll a 6 to evade. For sharpshooter, you'd actually need to have a token over here, behind this elf, or here, because it's exactly 2 spaces away diagonally.
Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah, I mean, move, sharpshooter.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move, activate teamwork, move, sharpshoot by using surge.
So you did move, teamwork, activate sharpshooter, and then you spent a surge to do the battle command.
Yeah.
Did you want to spend another surge to make it a sure shot attack?
Well, I'm at. Yeah.
That'll just make it so I have to roll a 6 to evade it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Come on.
Haha.
All right, got him.
Dice gods are starting to re-like me.
Sure. Cool. Good turn. And then you hit your reinforcement step.
Hey-yo. Face the right way.
Oh, and if you want to rest that elf, you can earn a search point and rest him if you want also.
No, I'll leave him in the ready state.
Okay, that dude is fresh and able to evade. Okay, so my wyvern's been doing work though. I'm proud of these guys.
Yeah, they've been kicking my ass the whole time. I'm like, how do I dodge and hit it at the same time?
Yeah, I think I mean, we can talk a little bit more after we're done with the game, but I think I can talk to you a little bit about some things that could have happened differently. Mainly, like you put your soldiers up at the front lines to try and get in, but then you were kind of reserved with them. You know what I mean? Like, I would have liked to have seen them kind of rush in with the march stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I should have rushed in with more. I should have been more aggressive. But that's how learning the game works, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no criticism here, just kind of spitballing.
Oh no, for
sure. So, you know what? Actually, on that note, I am going to dash this wyvern over here and earn a surge point, and then also rest to earn 2 surge points. Land on 5 surge at the end of my turn. Reinforce my last wyvern right here and pass.
So I'm down to my last 5 dudes. I'm going to. So he's at 2. So I'm gonna move 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that wouldn't work. So I'm gonna move this guy 3. Also rest. And get 2. Whoops, wrong way. 2 surges. Your turn.
All right, hit my refresh step and wake up this wyvern. Then I will. Activate take flight to move exactly 3 spaces. Sure. Enrage battle.
Alright, which means I get to roll once, or no, you still.
No, that guy's.
Out.
Yeah, that guy's resting, so he doesn't get to evade. He does deal 1 damage back, though, which doesn't kill me, and I'm actually going to rest right there.
Okay.
To cap, I'm at max surge. Pass the turn.
Just trying to see, what do the zombies do?
They wait.
Yeah, they wait to infect, and then everything becomes zombified. At least that's how I figured they would work.
Well, so you'll see that little insignia next to the infectability.
Mm-hmm.
That means that it costs 3 commands to activate that token talent.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
So, yeah, because in a game of attrition, just being able to fish a guy out that's already been killed is kind of crazy. That's like giving me 2 extra tokens.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's expensive to do. It's kind of tricky to figure out. I mean, it also depends on sort of, there's a little, I hate to kind of bog down the descriptor of this game with like a bunch of, hobby buzzwords here, but there's some press your luck. There's some area control. There's some action point management. So there's a lot of different things going on, but like yesterday I was playing a game with zombies and the other player was able to get some range guys right here.
Mm-hmm.
There was 3 elves here and then 2 soldiers here, and I only had 3 zombies, and he was leading me by a 2 token margin, and it didn't matter where I dashed to or what I did. There was nowhere for me to go where I wasn't in danger of being killed, so I couldn't get my surge points high enough to actually get infect to work.
Gotcha. Okay,
it was, yeah.
No, that does make it a lot of sense there. That's crazy. But again, it's got a lot to it for such a what looks like a simplistic game, but it's got a lot of strategy to it. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
So elf, move 3, get 1 surge, use 1 surge to rotate to make him enraged, another one to smack you in the face, which kills you.
Yep. Eats it. Eats a mouthful of arrows for lunch.
And then I'll stay there and hope I don't lose that one guy.
So if you're not, just remember that as soon, so you don't actually have to. So when you turn 90 degrees to the right, that's called readying or leaving them in the ready state.
Mm-hmm.
You don't actually have to do that unless you end your turn without attacking after you've been raged, because
Gotcha.
they'll maintain that +1. Yeah. So since you attacked, just like if I was, for example, I'm going to do it on this turn actually. So I'm going to activate this wyvern, and I'm going to use the take flight ability to move exactly 3 spaces and go 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to. Oh, thanks, Honeybee. Yeah, that's great. Then I'm going to use my second command to move over 1 space. Then I'll use my third to enrage, and I'm not going to ready him because I know that the next thing I'm going to do is spend a surge point to attack.
All right, and then my guy goes poof.
So no, your guy is fresh. So
yes.
you actually,
I get to
so
roll.
you actually get to roll an evasion. Hi, B.
No, a 1. The dice gods have forsaken me yet again.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They really have been hard on you today.
Oh, it's okay. I'm used to this. Dice don't like me. That's why I like games that have mechanics with 1s.
Sure. So then I'm going to get weird is what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3 of my surge points to go down to 2, but I earn 1 immediately because I just did a dash command.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll spend 1 to do rush, which increases my range to 3 spaces away.
And ping my
then
again.
And then I'm going to bottom out to 0 surge and do a sure shot battle command at your elf.
Which means I have to roll a 6, right?
Uh-huh.
From a 1 to a 6, do I get it? No, I get another 1.
I'd seen enough of those over the last couple weeks of playtesting online where I want to develop a faction at one point that makes it so that you can ready them as a react ability. Like you can do an interrupt where you can dial the value of a die roll up by 1 in either direction.
No, that makes that's a very, very interesting.
Oh, thanks. Well, we're gonna do some stuff like I have probably a sort of alarming amount of expanded seasons of Token Terrors already sort of written. So somewhere in like season 4, season 5, we have a cleric faction that has a passive ability called Prey, where if you don't like the outcome of a die roll, you can just re-roll it.
Oh, that's interesting. But no, I love the fact that you're working with these tokens and giving them like their own little flavors and stuff like that. It's a nice change to some of the heavier games that you have like a bajillion different tokens, but every single one does something different, like 40k and that kind of thing.
Well, thanks.
So my turn. You killed off 2 of my dudes, and I've got my 2 dudes left.
Oh wait, hold on. There we go. Now I'm done, and then I hit another reinforcement, and this reinforcement is going to happen over here.
So these guys are melee, so they can only do 1 hit. So I'm going to hit 3 here. That gives me a surge. I'm going to hit for 1. Do you still get to hit back for 1?
Yeah,
Okay,
resting tokens still retaliate.
So what I will do is instead of that, I will enrage, then attack. So I'm using 2 surges to kill you off.
Cool.
And that will be turn.
Okay. Do you want to rest?
Yes, to get 1 back. No, I'll leave him in the ready actually.
Well, there's when they're facing forward, the key phrase there is fresh, not ready. Just not a problem at all. Totally understand the confusion. Just want to make sure that we make that distinction. And also, since you've eliminated all my wyverns, you're no longer going to need about evading range attacks because you're not going to have any more of those happening.
That's true. So I will rest.
Yeah, you might as well.
And get the additional point.
Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. That guy's gonna die
Oh,
anyway.
I know. I've clearly lost this match, but that's okay. I'm learning.
Yeah, I thank you. I thank you for doing it. Yeah, I'm gonna activate this zombie, and for my first command, I'll move over 1, and then I'll use the remaining 2 to blindside right here and deal 1. And then I will rest this zombie to earn a surge and pass turn.
All right. Let's see what I can do here.
You can kill that guy.
Yeah, I can kill him. So 3 dash.
Yep.
Which gives
bounce
me
to 3.
gives me 1, and then attack for 1, 2. I'm
Yep.
gonna
Enrage
and then
battle.
snag him.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I will hope my lonely soldier can survive.
Are you gonna rest him?
Yeah, I'll rest him to get the 1 point.
Yeah, I'm gonna just burn all my surge to get this to happen. I think I got it. 3. Yeah, so I'll dash to here to earn 1, and then 1, 2 to get right there, and then I have exactly enough. I'll suicide mission right here. They'll trade damage. They kill each other.
And you stand victorious.
Yeah.
So this was really cool. I really enjoyed playing this.
That's great.
It's definitely something I would back, especially if your miniatures are going to be of a higher resolution. And the fact that you already have stuff planned for further expansion, that really catches my eye. I'm always a person that's into having multiple expansions to a game to get more out of the base game.
Great.
Are you thinking of doing anything with like a terrain base or terrain changes, or are you just going to keep it a simple board like this?
So in the purely so there's a couple different directions we want to take this whole system in. The first one remember when I mentioned the Token Titans and Token Tyrants earlier?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Grave Goliath. He's a threat by himself because he occupies 4 spaces. That makes sense, right?
Yep.
This is Skirmish, the Goblin War Boss. He occupies 2 spaces, so he has a standing threat of 2. So what we want to do immediately after releasing Season 1, not immediately, but probably 6 months later, is we want to release an expansion that is it's going to be 6 or 7 of these types of miniatures that'll be like captains, more or less, for each individual faction from Season 1. And when we release that, we're going to release the rule set for a 2 versus 2 version of this game, where you use the same board and the same factions and cards, but you'll have these captains to play around with, and each player will draft an army of 6 and combine them to make an army of 12 to face off against another team of players. So that's one thing we want to do. And then the other thing that we want to do, which is probably a couple years away, that kind of touches on your question about terrain variants, is something called Token Terrors Adventure, which will be a sort of 5X co-op exploration dungeon crawl kind of situation, where it'll be 5 by grid cards that you'll flip over that'll have different themed dungeons, and each dungeon will come packaged with exclusive token factions that you will be able to migrate into the 1v1 and the 2 versus 2 and use them like rats and bats and slimes and things like that.
I'm loving it.
Thanks. And then like our forecasted business plan as a company, as a publishing company, is that each year we want to release 1 new season of Token Terrors. So there will be 6 new factions every year. And kind of taking a page from Magic, and that the only limitation on how you build your army in Token Terrors is that you can only have 10. There isn't a limit on the number of factions you can have, so we want to try and get some cross synergistic kind of things going on, have more complicated builds, have people have a lot more variation and versatility in how they build their army, and also just proliferate the amount of minis that people can use in your TTRPGs or Magic the Gathering, because again, these guys are also meant to kind of bling out your favorite tribal decks. I have a bunch, all my friends are Magic players, so there's Ghost decks, there's Merpeople decks, there's Mirror decks. Yeah, right. I have a black-white vampire deck from Ixalan that I love, and I would love to have little guys that I could pop out instead of using these board state clogging token cards or boring coins or dice and things like that. So that's sort of the bird's eye view of what we want to do with this, but we got to just get through this first campaign and see how that goes.
Well, I would definitely back. I really love the concept of this. I would definitely play it a lot more. Would you mind if we played it with some of our other groups to give it some more feedback and so on?
I would love that. That would be great.
Perfect. The only other question I have is, you said it's coming out to Kickstarter in July, correct?
Yeah, actually exclusive July 21st.
21st. Perfect.
That's not public knowledge yet. We're announcing on Tuesday, but I'm letting you know early. We're going to launch on July 21st.
Perfect. So for this game, thank you so much for joining us. And I can't wait to see what ends up happening.
Well, thank you so much, Jen. I really had a good time. Thanks for playing.
We'll catch you next time at the table. Would you like to do the ceremonial flip of the table? That's how we usually end our episodes.
Oh, let's please not. It messes up the mod.
Oh, no. Okay, we won't do that.
We'll throw the Grave Liath off the table.
There we go.